Welcome to this Targon bite-sized episode of the Realm Cast. I am your host, the Mortal Kombat Phantom, and with me, making me do this while I'm on vacation, is my co-host Yani. Welcome, Yani. Thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you, Phantom. And for the record, everybody, I'm also on vacation. And I wanted to actually get some content in as well, but also there was no way we were not going to comment on what happened yesterday. I say yesterday as of the time of this
Yeah,
recording. Now, I'm
I think
currently
you're the only one that's
sitting in the heat.
excited about this.
I love how like a couple of the streams I saw, people were like, "Oh my god, Yanni's gonna love this. Yanni's going crazy, most likely about this." I straight up like hijacked the MKO stream with Survived Combatant and Mosif. I just joined them out of the blue, and they were like, "What is that, Yanni?"
You didn't even tell them that you're joining.
No, I straight up just joined it. I didn't give them a heads up, nothing.
That's great.
Oh
All
man,
right, so
where were you when the reveal trailer came out?
where was I?
Mm.
I was trying to get up uh, information out to all of our followers on social media. Where were you,
Oh,
Yanni?
was that you? I didn't realize. Oh, see, I was on vacation. I'm just rubbing that in for everybody so they can see. No, but we actually weren't supposed to really be doing much here, but considering the content that came out yesterday, I had to force Phantom into this. So big thanks to Phantom for taking his
Yeah.
moment at the airport to join for this Duck Hot and Bite Size episode of our discussion on really the Lin Kuei trailer, as they've called it. But that is obviously not just a Lin Kuei trailer.
It's also it's a Lin Kuei and a random rain mage. I don't know what they're doing with rain on this new version of rain. I don't know. What do you like it?
I need to see more of it personally. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I went absolutely crazy. I was sitting down having lunch when I was watching the trailer. I was expecting like I don't know a reptile reveal, maybe a havoc reveal, maybe an Asher or somebody, and someone who I would have been like happy to see, but like I wouldn't have gone crazy over. And then
Uh,
as I'm watching this trailer, this is me like being as quiet as possible with my earphones on. Smoke comes out, I'm like, and then I see Cyrax, and my jaw progressively drops and drops and drops. I see Sector, and then I see Rain. I'm like, and I'm sitting there holding my mouth, like trying not to scream in this restaurant, basically.
yeah. So for those of our viewers who don't know, Yanni is a huge rain and smoke fan, and he was very excited. It turns out. I think you were
It
probably
was
the most
tailor made for
excited.
me. This trailer.
You said it was tailor made. The trailer was.
Oh, 100% just for me. That's how I'm taking it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the case, but I'm pretending that NRS made this trailer specifically for me. And I would like to thank everybody there for the best moment of my Mortal Kombat fan lifespan. Because, I mean, I would never have thought that I would see both Smoke and Rain, and not just Smoke, but human Smoke revealed in the same freaking trailer. And I feel like it was just
So
hilarious that I couldn't even react properly, like because I was just having to be so quiet in this restaurant.
So, I'm really surprised that they're doing this a second story trailer, basically. We've already gotten the trailer, and now we've gotten the Lin Kuei story mode trailer. It's an interesting little twist to how they usually do their game reveals.
Yeah, you're right actually. And now that you mention it, I noticed not just during the combat cast, which I sort of caught up on later. Like we've been talking about Smoke and Rain and everything constantly, but we did get some some Kung Lao gameplay. We got some Scorpion gameplay. We got some Johnny Cage gameplay in that combat cast too. And while they look really really cool, I mean, one of the main things that I actually noticed from the Combat Cast, as well as interviews now from Ed, etc., is that they seem to have finally struck that balance, at least, going into the game's release, that they're focusing on FGC, but also understanding that there are lore fans who are important too. And I'm really getting that vibe every time they discuss
Hmm.
Mortal Kombat now.
I noticed something that hasn't really been mentioned, and that you mentioned Scorpion here, and that was got me thinking. The Toasty fatality that we saw in the most recent trailer wasn't Mortal Kombat 1 Scorpion. It was classic Scorpion, like a cameo Scorpion. So I'm,
Hmm.
we have a lot of people who are asking what's going on with Scorpion, who he is. I think that might be a hint of the fact that his story isn't the same story at all. Um, a lot of people don't seem to realize that, and are kind of expecting him to maybe be quietly angry or Hanzo Hasashi. And the story of Scorpion is very different in Mortal Kombat 1, and I think that's kind of a hint to it.
Yes, I mean, just that alone. I think there was another interview. It could have even been from the Combat Cast itself. Sorry, it's a bit windy here. Definitely appreciate it. It's boiling here. I never thought I'd say that in London. But one of the things that they said, I think, in the Combat Cast as well as in interviews with Ed, was that the cameos themselves are going to be used as ways of demonstrating the classic iterations of those characters. So it makes sense that Scorpion's cameo is going to be MK92 Scorpion rather than MK 2023 Scorpion, and
Right.
that's why that actually brings me to my only criticism so far of the cameos, and that would really be that Frost is in the classic Ninja's outfit rather than her Deadly Alliance outfit.
Yeah, that's a good point. And her classic ninja costume didn't show up until Mortal Kombat X. Is that right?
Exactly, yes. And she wasn't even playable then. And then she did get a playable
Yeah.
version of it in MK11. But really, the classic Frost that we all know, and I say love, I know that there are some Frost fans out there, I like Frost,
I
is
like
the
Frost.
Deadly
I
Alliance
really do.
Frost. She does have her hair back, though.
Yeah, yeah. Thankfully, she's not a cybernetic ninja anymore, which I'm excited to see
Well,
a more traditional Frost.
not just that. Not just that, they've given Smoke her hair from MK11.
Oh, there's been a lot of talk about the new look of Smoke. What are your thoughts, Yanni?
I absolutely love him. I think he looks amazing. I'm just glad he's human. I personally preferred the long hair. MK9 Smoke was peak Smoke design for me, and in terms of his primary, his ult was amazing too. Um, that's the one that shows up in MKX, obviously, when he's in Enra. But I personally really like this outfit. I like the idea that he's sort of all the Lin Kuei ninja are sort of palette swaps in a way. It's a very cool way of going to NK1 as they're calling it, and
Oh,
I think he looks great. One thing that was interesting about his appearance to me was that he has a scar on his eye.
yeah, I saw that. I'm curious if it has
So,
anything to do with how Sub Zero scar, like something similar, or if it's just completely random.
well, that's the thing. We don't know who Scorpion is, and for all we know, Smoke is not Thomas Verbata, or it is, and they've switched just certain backstories up and everything, or it's just part of his design to be, a grizzly ninja in a way. The bios that were posted were very interesting, and it's quite in line with what we saw in that Lin Kuei story trailer, and with what's that quote between Scorpion and Smoke, where he's like, "We may not share blood, but we are brothers." And this
Right.
has me wondering even more now: is it Kuei? Is it Hanzo? Is Smoke Thomas? Is he Kuei himself? Like, what if all the ninjas' names have swapped because technically they are mantles, right? If you think about it.
Yeah, yeah. We know for sure that Sub Zero is Bihan at this point, but everybody else is up in the air. It could be anything.
Exactly. Yeah. And actually, one interesting thing that I've not seen anybody posting about, and I'd like to get a clip of this up, is at some point in that Lin Kuei trailer, there's a part where Bihan's voice really sounds like MK11 Noob Saibot. His voice goes much deeper and raspier, and he
Yeah.
sounds very evil. Like the Lin Kuei will take this place. I can't remember exactly what he says, but he sounds. I could have completely butchered that. It could be a completely different line, but he sounds very much like the Noob Saibot we would expect. He sounds very dark. So it's pretty interesting to see that he is. We've already spoken about this. He seems very aggressive, very angry of
Oh
sorts
yeah.
too.
Yeah. There's something else I want to bring up real quick before I let you talk about Rain, because I know you're going to go off on Rain a bit. But so we get to see, I can't remember the term of it, but basically Onaga's army in this trailer. I
Yes.
mean, that's what it looks like.
Now, is it
Am I,
Onaga's
am I,
army? Yeah.
yeah. Um, but like, if a lot of people are replaying and they're like, "Oh, I think I saw Shao Kahn on there on a horse and stuff like that." I don't think we're seeing Shao Kahn. I think we're seeing this basically this undead army of statue type uh, things kind of coming to life, and I think there's just a couple. I mean, it has that Japanese aesthetic, and so people see that headpiece and like, "Oh, that's Shao Kahn." I don't think it is. I
Yeah.
think I definitely think we're getting the Dragon Emperor's army in some form or another in this new game.
Well, I mean, we do have the bio from Rain, sort of hinting at what is to come in terms of Shao, and it's not Khan, is it? Like as
Yeah,
you're saying,
yeah.
the warriors that we saw, I'm wondering if they were Dragon King warriors or not. It could be
Mhm.
completely different. I really don't know what to expect here, but it was a really cool scene with Scorpion, melting them all with his hellfire, and that's actually something really
Oh
cool
yeah.
that I noticed in the combat cap, where he's got his hellfire back, as well as the unblockable variant. That was really cool, and he's got a lot of focus on his Kusarigama and his gameplay, including with special moves. So Scorpion is looking amazing, and if it really is a callback to Onaga, we have some 3D era stuff to look forward to, and I'm so hyped for that, honestly. But I mean, should we mention the bios?
I don't know
I mean, they're
because
there.
okay,
They're
they're out and
yeah.
they're available and you can look at them. But I don't know if we want to talk about it too much because it is kind of spoiler heavy to the point where NetherRealm pulled one of them down and changed it. So
Mm,
I I I think we'll let people kind of look it up on their own to find it because it's
yeah. Okay.
I don't think they
Let's
want to
hold
talk
back on the rain bio. Let's hold back on the rain bio. That's fair enough. It is out there, obviously, but yeah,
about it.
we'll keep that out for now. But
Hmm.
in terms of the smoke bio, what was interesting was it seems to have the the origin that everybody was expecting Scorpion to have if he was Hanzo, all saying that he would be sort of like an adopted son, adopted brother of what do you call him of Sub Zero, but
Uh,
in reality, it actually seems to be that it's not Scorpion who is that; it is Smoke. So that was a pretty
yeah,
interesting shift there. Very cool idea to make them seem more like brothers, as they specifically say. But I mean, Smoke's gameplay, Smoke's outfit, Smoke's design. I am very hyped with everything. My only concern is that he seems to be more practical user of smoke sort of manipulation, I'd say. He seems to be very technological, which is a cool way of striking that balance between cyborg smoke and ninja smoke. But I've seen people saying, what, no more Enenra? And everybody has to remember, Enenra smoke is actually a relatively recent thing. Smoke in the
yeah,
prior timeline, in the original timeline, was just a manipulator of smoke and then even turned into like sort of nanobots in Deception onwards. So maybe it might not be an Enra smoke. It could be a sort of balance between the two, and I'm not too worried about that because he obviously can seem to move through smoke. He's definitely doing that, unless it's a whole smoke and mirrors type of gameplay. Which, if it is, kudos to them. Oh, I got a butterfly on me. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited to see Smoke. I think his gameplay, honestly, gameplay wise, I'm more keen to play Smoke than Rain right now. Um, and I mean they're both my favorite characters, obviously. So it's not really a negative thing. I'm just I can't believe that I have the option of choosing between two after all these years.
you know, I noticed something about the Lin Kuei ninjas, and it's that they all seem to be element manipulators. Uh,
Mm,
rather than having kind of like, Scorpion was very unique because he was a hellspawn. Sub Zero can control the element. Uh, Smoke now. I mean, do you already? I don't know how to explain it. They're very different. They're not the same characters that we grew up with or that we're used to as far as how their mechanics work in this real world aesthetic. It's like they all have their different elemental properties to them, and these are the only Lin Kuei members that we've seen so far. Minus
yes.
there's like some random Lin Kuei in the background of One Shot with Smoke. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, and I'm kind of curious of how that's going to play out in the story because it's not Mortal Kombat like we're used to. That's for sure.
It's definitely not. I mean, I would argue that Sub Zero and Scorpion's abilities to an extent are similar to what we'd expect of them, but I definitely get where you're going with that. And then obviously, mentioning Smoke with the smoke bombs, etc., etc. I love the addition of his karambit, by the way. It's funny. I was literally just talking about karambits the other day, I think on stream. I can't remember. Uh, but the fact that he's using that, it fits very well with his. I'm talking
Yeah.
about that little curved knife that he's got, the dagger.
Mhm.
It fits very well with his gameplay, although it looks very Fujin-esque. It feels like they've just taken Fujin's sort of playstyle and added it onto MK9 Smoke, and it's very interesting to see that. I really want to see more gameplay from him. But before we do get into Rain, we're still talking Lin Kuei. What do you think of Sector and Cyrax cameos?
Oh, I love them. I think they might be my favorite cameos so far. Just because they
Yeah,
add a lot of different mechanics to the characters. I was already thinking about how I can use them when I start playing. So I'm super excited that their movesets are very different than everything we've seen so far. So
yes.
I think they're great.
I mean, I'm
What about you?
wondering if we can get that infinite Cyrax combo with his bomb knock up again from MK9.
All right,
I'm
so
very
I
happy
got to
with
jump off here
Cyrax.
in a
Very
second.
happy
So
with Sector.
let me
Okay,
hear
let's
about
get to
your
Rain then.
rain
Quick.
impressions.
All right. So, firstly, as I said, Smoke, Rain, both my favorite characters. Rain is looking really cool, although I do hope that they're still going to vary up his design a little bit. It feels a bit all over the place at times. The colors kind of change. We've gone from purple, gold. There's some black in there. There's some teal in there. I'm a bit confused, and I feel like the outfit itself is confusing. But on one hand, despite that, it does seem a bit all over the place. It also looks really cool. I just hope that he has a more prince-esque sort of design as well as backstory that he develops into. Because right now he's considered the high mage, right? He's a mage
Yeah.
of sorts, manipulating water, as you've mentioned. The ninjas are all, manipulating their abilities very differently, and he has a staff, which is awesome for me because I love staves. Staves, spears are my favorite weapons, and so it's like what? But he's using the staff in his Like I don't think he had a single attack aside from special abilities without his staff, which concerns me because I did not see the super kick. The roundhouse kick was not there, and I'm really hoping he still has some
Mm.
physical sort of prowess, just in terms of hand to hand, rather than relying on his magic and on his staff, if you know what I mean. But I'm still very
Mhm.
excited. I love what I've seen of him, and I'm just hoping that whatever the further reveals we get of Rain, like complete the character for me, especially with alternate outfits and such. What do you think?
So I'm gonna be a pessimist here. I'm not a big fan of what they've done with Rain. I see a lot of people calling him Gandalf, and it's like a Dungeons and Dragons character or something out of I don't know, like Overwatch or something, just kind of thrown into Mortal Kombat. Like you said,
Hmm,
it's not Prince Rain anymore. It's like Dark Elf Wizard Mage Rain, and
I get you.
I'm not a fan. And also, his play style kind of. I mean, I didn't get a lot of chance to watch a lot of it, but it reminds me kind of Kung Jin in some ways. Uh,
Oh,
and so,
interesting.
yeah, and maybe it's just because of the staff and using it with the way that he does, but I don't know. I liked Mortal Kombat Nine's reign, and
Oh
so
yeah,
I'm kind of
yeah.
disappointed at what they're doing with him.
Don't get me wrong. I'm 100% with you in the sense that MK9 Rain and MK11 Rain they felt like peak Rain to me. I,
Uh-huh.
I do prefer the assassin style. I'm just thinking that it is a nice sort of take on Rain, but I have a feeling that he has a lot more to his kit that we haven't seen yet, which could be more, assassin-y kind of ninja-y. And then also, as we said as well, they will have alternates, right? So, but I do get what you're saying. In terms of if I had to choose between them, I definitely prefer the assassin style Rain over the mage one. Don't get me wrong. But I think at this point, I'm just so hyped and so happy to have him as a base playable character for the first time since Armageddon. And I don't even think Armageddon counts. You know what I mean? Like, he has technically, if you don't count Armageddon, he's technically never been a base roster character. Even in his first appearance, he was technically a DLC for MK3, if you think about it. So this is
Yeah. Yeah.
quite the historic moment for us Rain fans, and just for Mortal Kombat in general. This is absolutely crazy. Again, don't get me wrong. I think Mage Rain could use a bit more fleshing out. But he seemed very zone heavy, and I'm not a zoner player, kind of guy. But I don't know. I think I need to see a bit more to get a full opinion on how he is right now. I don't want to judge based on only what I've seen, which was really a teaser because he had about 5 to 10 seconds of gameplay, and then it was basically Scorpion destroying him instead.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's a taste of things to come.
Exactly. I like it. I like it, Mr.
All
Shang
right. Well,
Tsung. And he
Yani,
is still showing up. He was showing up before or after Smoke's fatality, which looked amazing. Anyway, you've got to run. You've got a plane to catch, and I need to get out of the heat.
I got plenty to catch. Yes. So everybody who's watched this video, thanks for joining us on this bite-sized episode. Sorry that it is impromptu while
Very
we're
bad
traveling,
quality.
but we missed you guys, and we will be joining back with the Roamcast and Soul Streams as soon as we get back from vacation. So in the meantime, make sure you're liked and subscribed to our videos. Turn on the notification bell. I gotta say all that just to make sure that you guys are seeing our content. Otherwise, you might miss something, and you might miss stuff like this. So. Yani, thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Phantom. Thank you all to the listeners as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you to NRS for making my day.
All right, bye, everybody.
All right, take care. See you.